Well, thank you all for being here this evening. As you all know, we had a horrific shooting event that occurred earlier today. And we're here now this evening because we have brought the prime suspect into custody, thanks to a great partnership between RPD and Henrico Police as well. I'm here, obviously, with Chief Edwards and the entire team, and so he'll provide an update with more details. But in our statement this morning, I shared that, I shared a little bit about the victims and really asked that we continue to keep the victims, the family, in your prayers. And this is an absolute nightmare for the entire family that is going through this. Our hearts go out to them and would continue to ask this community to hold this family up in their prayers. Chief.
Thank you. I'll give a brief update on what actually happened. Today, as you know, at 9:50, Richmond Police were called to the 3100 block of 5th Avenue for a report of a person shot. When we got there, we found multiple victims. An 18-year-old was pronounced deceased on scene. Two others, a 14-year-old female and a 38-year-old female, were taken to a local hospital. I'm happy to announce that the 38-year-old female is now in what is considered non-life-threatening condition. The 14-year-old is still battling and is still very much in life-threatening condition. I will announce that with the assistance of the Henrico Police Department, Levy Nelson was taken into custody on the charges of malicious wounding and use of a firearm during the commission of a felony related to the incidents of this day. Also, for the first time, I will be announcing the name of the deceased 18-year-old. His mother has obviously been notified of not only that we will be releasing his name, but also that Mr. Nelson was taken into custody. So his name is Zion Terry, again, age 18, and I think has previously been reported a John Marshall high school student who was days away from prom and the rest of his life, which by all accounts, he had a very bright future ahead of him, that was snuffed out short today by evil. I don't know how else to say it. And the fact that the two other individuals are alive is a miracle. I would like to take this opportunity to thank members of the public who, at our request, called us and gave us tips throughout the day. And certainly have to help all of our partners from the ATF to the other surrounding jurisdictions and certainly Henrico County, who was coordinating with us throughout the day. And I'll bring up Chief English to discuss the circumstances in which Mr. Nelson was taken into custody. But I think, as mentioned earlier, technology and our use of license plate recognition, license plate readers, was key in this swift arrest of this individual. So, Chief English.
Well, good evening. Just want to give you a little bit of update in terms of what occurred this evening in Henrico. So this is just a tremendous partnership with Richmond, and we always have a strong partnership with our surrounding jurisdictions. But we received the bulletin earlier. I think it's everybody that seen the bulletin in reference to the vehicle. And about 2 hours ago, or a little bit before that, we received a call, again, citizens just helping out, spotting the individual and the vehicle in the area. And shortly after that call, flock cameras started pinging that vehicle. It started hitting on some flock cameras in the east end. Officers were able to get to that particular area, and they were able to spot the vehicle. At that time, our suspect began ramming police cars. We had an officer that was injured due to his police car being rammed. Fortunately, that officer will be okay. We had 3 police cars that were rammed. The suspect tried to get away. We got into a short vehicle pursuit with an individual, and we were able to box that individual in and take that person into custody. Again, shortly after that call from the citizen, flock cameras picked up on that vehicle, and we were able to flood that area in order to make that arrest. So I'm just tremendously pleased that we were able to bring some closure. And as the mayor mentioned, just want to keep this family in our prayers. Grateful that this has come to a conclusion and we've taken a very dangerous criminal off the street. Thank you.
So I don't know if you have any questions for us. Certainly, as you know, we have our Commonwealth attorney here, and she can answer any questions that you may have as well.
Can you clarify that this suspect is the father of Zion and the 14-year-old?
So it's our understanding that he is the father of the 14-year-old, not the 18-year-old. We have made contact with the biological father of the 18-year-old, Zion, and he has been made aware of this. But he is not, Mr. Nelson is not his father.
I know you guys are real early in this. You just made the apprehension. Any mention of something similar? I mean, we saw this yesterday in Louisiana where a guy walked in and shot 7 of his kids. Is anything copycat related?
I don't think so. I think this sparked off and, you know, from an argument and escalated into an attempted mass murder, which just by the grace of God that the other 2 individuals are still alive. I will say this. We talk about domestic violence, and as I mentioned previously, domestic violence was our second leading cause for motives of murder last year. And whatever is happening in our country, people need to take it seriously. As I mentioned at the scene, this is not a family that we've dealt with. We haven't arrested him for domestic violence. We've never responded to a domestic violence or any 911 call at that house relating to these individuals. But that doesn't mean there wasn't violence going on. So it's possible that this was happening and we just weren't made aware of it. So I would encourage everyone, if you know someone in your life that is involved with a person who is controlling, a person who is trying to dominate their loved one, their spouse or girlfriend, to get the police involved early. And maybe this is where you can speak, Ms. McEachin, about the Family Justice Center and the need for us to really focus on domestic violence.
Thank you, Chief. First of all, I want to add my thoughts and prayers and those of the Office of the Commonwealth Attorney to the entire family. This is a horrible and horrifying situation. Honestly, I don't know whether a family justice center would have prevented this, but a family justice center exists in 150 locations throughout this country. And I know that City Council and the Mayor support the creation of a family justice center so that women and children who don't know where to go, who don't know how to create a safety plan to leave their home safely, who don't know how to prevent something like this from happening because they are aware of red flag laws. They can let the police know that someone in their home has a firearm who should not have a firearm. And so my office stands with the mayor, with the Richmond Police Department, and with City Council in hoping that a family justice center comes to creation in Richmond to help support the families of those who may be subject to domestic violence. I will also say briefly regarding this specific case that we have a situation where both adults and juveniles are victims, and so there will be proceedings taking all of that into account, and we will create the appropriate charges given the evidence once the police have completed their investigation. And that's all I will say about the legal proceedings at this point.
Can you tell us, did the suspect live in the house where this happened, to your knowledge?
Yes, he resided in the house.
Is that all we have, folks? Any questions?
Well, what I would just like to say is to thank all of you for those of you that came out today and your news stations who showed that photograph. We gave you an initial photograph, which was a little old. When we updated that, you updated that. So the picture got better as the day went on, and I just know that your pushing that out to our community was a big part in coming to a successful conclusion today. So just on behalf of the Richmond Police Department, thank you. All right, thanks everyone.
One more question, Chief. Just what can you say to the community for that help? I mean, you've hit on it a little bit, but, you know, obviously they took this seriously.
Yeah. Well, I think when you anything involving children and innocent victims like what we had today, gets everyone, every good-hearted person in Richmond being part of the solution, and that's what happened today. I mean, we talk a lot about the technology, and certainly flock license plate recognition was a key today, but also was key throughout the day, members of our community providing us with information, contacting Henrico police, doing what we asked them to do, brought us to a successful conclusion. I can just tell you, as a chief of police, as a person who's done this work for many years, we did not think this was going to end safely. There was a very good chance this could have been an additional tragedy where more people were hurt, where an officer was hurt. Obviously, we had an Henrico officer injured, but we expected this person could have went a different path and really tried to hurt additional people. So the other group I have to thank, so right away, Virginia Commonwealth University Police Department, so VCU PD, stepped up security at the hospital. We knew that once this individual realized that he didn't succeed in killing the other two people, that they could have been a threat at the hospital. So we upped our security there with VCU police. They were great partners. And I can just tell you that I'm resting easy knowing that this person's in custody tonight.
I saw one of your pieces with the U.S. Marshal Fugitive Task Force here. How important were they in this? And I mean, they've been the past week and a half, have been locking people up left and right.
Oh yeah, very busy. We're part of that task force, and they were on this from the beginning. But some of the traditional methods we use weren't available to us. So getting those tips, getting the other police departments involved was the key in this instance. But they helped facilitate a lot of the response to the fugitive apprehension. All right, thank you, everyone.